I spoke to the board a few weeks ago, sharing my concerns regarding the rights and needs of our deaf and hard of hearing students not being met. While it may or may not have been the first time you heard of those concerns, please know that was not the first time my concerns have been shared. I can almost guarantee it wasn't even the 100th time. About 30% of our students may be identified with other disabilities. While we have a program in place currently for our students that are identified as only having a hearing loss, we do not have a program in place for our deaf students with additional disabilities. In addition, over the past 5 years, deaf and hard of hearing programs have had 5 FTEs taken from them and shifted over to other programs. Over the past 12 years I have been with the district, I have had 10 different special education administrators that I've reported to. Each time there is a change, the process of educating, explaining, and ultimately having to justify the services of our students starts all over.
Today I'm speaking to each one of you on behalf of the orthopedically impaired students in this district. Trustee Major Sladek, in your region, orthopedically impaired students are being toileted in their classrooms with their peers 5 feet away from them. They are being denied access to the MOVE program as practiced with Fidelity because there are not enough physical therapists. One physical therapist isn't going to get this done. Trustee Thomas, in your region, orthopedically impaired students are sent to impacted classrooms where their wheelchairs become their prisons. Kids are denied mobility options. IEPs are not enforced. One-on-one aids are offered and then walked back. Trustee Davis, in your region, there's a STARS program that houses orthopedically impaired students. I can't even call it an orthopedically impaired program because there's no equipment in the program. Trustee Mills, in your region, an orthopedically impaired student's IEP was not implemented correctly to provide transportation to the medical therapy unit. After being removed from an OI program where the student had access to the medical therapy program 50 feet from his classroom, he is now likely permanently wheelchair bound, despite the orthopedic team's warning to managers that this would happen if the student was removed from that campus. Trustee Eastless, orthopedically impaired students are denied access, again, to the full-time physical therapist as required by federal law under IDEA. Trustee Johannes Rosas, in your region, OI providers are so overburdened they are unable to implement the IEPs and comply with legal expectations and requirements. Superintendent Nelson, I've highlighted one issue in each region in our district, and I can tell you for every one situation like this, there are countless others.
In my experienced opinion, we do not have the educational resources and supports in our program to meet the needs of students with visual impairments to provide quality instruction and services. Please be aware that these are not new concerns, but existing and have been discussed with special education management several times. Overall concern about service delivery model decisions being made by special education administration about specialty programs without the input of specialists it affects.
I'm concerned that management will continue to make decisions without the stakeholders' input. This happens frequently. We are the professionals I keep hearing management say they need to talk to. Recommendation from the Council of the Greater City Schools was made. The results became public over the summer. This was the professional recommendation. However, I'm still hearing we're waiting for a professional recommendation.
I urge you to ask hard questions tonight and make sure you get solid answers. How well does this proposal match special educators' and parents' perceptions of what's needed? You should be aware that besides working in some of the grubbiest corners of the district, we also do much of our work in the dark without the specialized guidance the field demands. You should know our input is not always valued or even solicited, and mostly it hasn't been encouraged or heard. The consequences of not listening to those on the front lines with children every day has been harmful.